Roughly how many, estimate-wise, how many people do you think, how many enemy do you think actually got inside the line?
I'm going to say, from what I counted, I would say between 15 to 18.
15 to 18 got inside. Roughly how large of a force would you put it in terms of like battalion, company, or platoon? How large of a force were you facing that day?
I believe we were facing probably a battalion, if not bigger.
Okay. Who are the heroes of this fight?
The heroes of this fight, of course, are the ones that we lost. If it weren't for their ultimate sacrifice, I wouldn't be standing here today talking to you or the camera or the people that are going to be watching this. Those are the true heroes in my eyes. The other heroes are, I think, is one of my soldiers, which is Specialist Carter, and another soldier, Staff Sergeant Romachet, and a Specialist Rasmussen, and a Specialist Delaney. Those guys really fought hard. They fought valiantly. They fought without guidance, and they engaged and killed a lot of enemies at the same time trying to save our own soldiers' lives.
I don't really know if we can talk about this too much, but will anyone be written up for awards? If so, what?
I'll tell you that every soldier in the troop, no matter what their job was, deserves a great award. I'm not going to go into what award they're going to get, but everybody did their job, and they did it to the best of their ability without having second thought to being engaged by the enemy. We had guys from admin all the way up to scouts to mortarmen and what have you do everything that they could in their power to save the COP, to save the lives, and to save our equipment.
I understand that most people left COP Keating with just the clothes on their backs and their weapon. Are you guys in the process of being refitted?
We are. Once we got back from COP Keating to where we're at now, it was mainly my platoon with a handful of others that basically all we had was the gear on our backs, because it was our building that basically burned down my platoon. Once we got back, though, the soldiers that were not in the fight, that were actually engaged in a fight, and that was to give us all the support that they could give us. And we received anything you could think of to comfort us, which was, you know, guys trying to take the bags that we had off our backs, to giving us cigarettes, to small snacks, and anything we could use to sleep with. And it was gratifying to be able to come back to that.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add that you think needs to be known?
What I think needs to be known right now that is upsetting is that I'm having a hard time reading some of the stories that are in the media today. And some of these people that were not in boots on the ground are discrediting what we've done by their own interpretation of the battle. And it's infuriating to me because, you know, unless you get the story from a guy that spilt blood, sweat, and tears that day, you have no reason to be putting discrediting information on the media for others to be reading.
What do you think the story needs to be from this?
The story needs to be that all of our men fought bravely, they fought hard, and they fought without the fear of being engaged, and they did everything they could to save the lives and to destroy the enemy. And the Americans should be proud. All Americans, no matter what, should be proud of all of our men that day, because they did some phenomenal work. And I will never forget the soldiers that have passed and the soldiers that I have today that did what they did.
This is the last set of questions, just because I know you're the platoon sergeant, and you probably had some experience with this. My understanding was that attack happens, attack doesn't happen. Within roughly 4 days to a week, you guys weren't going to be there. Is that correct?
That was correct. There was plans to go ahead and remove us from that area to begin with, and I believe that we were attacked as a propaganda for the Taliban.
Okay. What type, were there any, were you guys in the process of wrapping up shop, basically? We
were in the process of wrapping up shop, but our commander, Captain Portis, was being very tactful about the events by getting rid of non-essential equipment. So the equipment we had there we could fight with, without a doubt. We were going to keep essential equipment to engage the enemy all the way up until the last day.
So basically, like non-essential equipment, roughly would you say how much of that had already been sent back?
Maybe 10%, 10 to 15%.
So you guys were just really in the beginning stages of...
Yes, beginning of stages of withdrawal.
Okay. All right, and what was the reason given for your withdrawal?
The reason is because I believe we're going to be more effective in other places than we were at there at Combat Keating. Combat Keating originally, to me, as a leader and has seen things like this before, it was in a very, very bad place. It was unfightable. I mean, we did what we could to fight off the enemy, but as a result of where we were at, made it very difficult for us to fight. I think if we were in a different area where we were in the elevated position, we would have had, the odds would have been much better for us.
What, okay. In terms of, what do you think could have been done differently in terms of that location? Like,
The problem is it was basically in a fishbowl and we were surrounded by mountains. Basically, if you walked out of a building, you were facing a mountain. The best place to put any cop or any position would be an elevated position and not in a fishbowl. That's the kind of guidance I would give if I were to build another cop or a fob or what have you.